Cthulhu Jack.
This 1932 film, shot in the final year before Prohibition was lifted,
Of course, it's none of my business, but I'm sure they are bootleggers.
is a pre-code era Hollywood melodrama that follows the plight of a youthful Jimmy Mason who loses his mom
She died last week.
and ends up in a reform school for boys. I'm talking about Hell's House, starring the petite Bettie Davis in her first starring role, alongside, quote, Hollywood's Irishman in residence, Pat O'Brien.
I don't know. Did he say where, Jim? Sure he did. He said we'd go to the Rosalind Dance Palace.
Oh, that was the place.
Who is this person?
What? This is Mr.
As Matt Kelly, his gregarious nature in this film lights up the air around him with charm and undertones of a snake oil salesman.
You know Rudy Valley, Mr. Kelly?
Do I know Rudy Valley? Do I know him? The megaphone was my idea.
Particularly to young Jimmy, played by Junior Durkin, who sadly passed away in a car accident a few years after this film was made at the age of 19.
Hello, kid.
His ah shucks homegrown innocence is very endearing.
I didn't scare you, did I, Mom?
After his mom's passing from a hit and run at the end of their driveway, Jimmy takes to the Big Apple where he moves in with his mom's sister and uncle. After meeting Kelly, who's a boarder in the building, Jimmy follows him around like a puppy, not realizing the type of business Kelly is actually in.
Oh, 3 quarts of white? Okay, I'll bring him right over. Yeah.
Jimmy needs a job fast.
You see, with Uncle Henry getting laid off, and me coming unexpected the way I did, it's kind of hard on him. And I thought, well, knowing everyone the way you did, you could help me get a job.
So he hires Jimmy for the gig of taking phone messages and zipping his lip. When a noisy Nellie calls in a tip to the coppers that she's living next to a hooch house, Kelly leaves Jimmy to watch the shop as he skedaddles away for delivery, just as the fuzz arrive. Kelly struggles with setting things right for Jimmy or letting him take the fall. Jimmy's naivete follows him throughout as he enters into the juvenile system, all the while pitching that Kelly will bail him out to his fellow inmates.
Say, that friend of yours better get his connections working.
He is then sentenced to 3 years. Learning quickly how to handle himself after several instances that enlighten him, he befriends Shorty, his bunkmate and pal who has a bum ticker.
What was that? Did the super give you the welcome speech when you first came in? Yeah. Well, that's some kid getting his for not profiting by his experience.
Shorty gives him some pointers during their hard labor stints.
I'm gonna give you 2 now. That's what all us old-timers do. Well, supposing I don't catch 'em. Oh, you'll just mash a finger.
Telling Jimmy he can smuggle a letter out to Kelly to try and get some help. With Jimmy's disappearance weighing not only on his family, but Peggy, played by Davis, who is fascinated with his spunk and spontaneity.
Have you heard from Jimmy?
No, not a word. Oh, I guess he's gone for good.
You know, I can't get that poor kid off my mind. How could a boy just disappear?
I don't know. I can't figure it.
In the background, Superintendent Charles Thompson of the reformatory is under scrutiny with his establishment being investigated.
I've seen your Sunday school. So you lost your nerve. Double-crossed me.
When Shorty is busted for trying to pass off the letter for Jimmy,
Well, your writing is nothing like this. Now, who wrote that?
I did.
he's sent to solitary confinement without revealing who wrote the letter. Unaware and who is newly appointed monitor, Jimmy starts to see what true ugliness that hides in the darkest cracks of the prison. On his first routine dinner deposit to solitary, he finds an almost unconscious Shorty, hallucinating.
It's me, don't you know me? Gee, Mom. Jimmy's gonna be disappointed when Mr. Kelly doesn't get that letter.
Shorty goes limp and is rushed to the infirmary. Jimmy makes it his mission to escape to try and save his friend from his nefarious keepers. Once back in the neighborhood, Jimmy finds Kelly at Peggy's, spilling the beans from top to bottom on his plight.
I tried to let you know in the quiet like you told me, but after the cops got me, I didn't have a chance. Shorty tried to get a letter out of the reform school, but...
Reform school?
Peggy contacts New York Times columnist Frank Gephardt, who Kelly boasts he knows. With all three at the paper and the coppers looking for Jimmy,
You made the kid believe you're the greatest guy on earth. And then you hid behind him to save your own skin. You let him go to reform school because he wouldn't squeal when you told him not to. And now when you've got a chance to be the man he thinks you are, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let him down? What are you, Kelly? A man or a rat?
the clock is ticking for Kelly, who at 0 hour confesses that he was the one that the police were long after. letting Jimmy take the rap. Now free, Jimmy learns the fate of his friend in the morning paper. So, if you're curious what hard labor was in a 1930s boys' juvenile detention center,
those on the mourner's bench have got 2 hours more to go. You've got to see that they keep their eyes on that line every minute of it.
then this little picture might just be for you. Until next time.
You will get out of this institution exactly what you put into it.
I also wanted to give a shout out to our YouTube members. Thank you for the support. And Hail Cthulhu!